Yeah, so having a degree is really about. So sorry, after having the degree, sorry, I'm thrown off there. After having the
That's
degree,
okay.
it's really about trying to get the skills, the soft skills that you would need to for the particular role you're going for within the clinical research field. So, for example, for a CRA role, a lot of the job descriptions will say you need to have attention to detail, you need to have administrative skills, you need so and so. And so from there, it's all about finding where you're able to leverage those skills you've had from whatever degree it is that you've had and highlighting it on your CV to show that you have it. Um, for example, you might say you're able to communicate well in cross functional teams. And you're able to prioritize workloads to a certain standard within a certain time frame. So it's all about leveraging those skills that are on the job description, putting it on your CV, and making yourself more competent for the role. And I always say this in terms of how you can access without having a degree in the field in science, and from there having a good CV, a good cover letter, familiarizing yourselves with such certifications such as the Good Clinical Practice certification is another
Hmm.
key thing
That's a key
because
one.
sorry.
No, it's a key one. It's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just to give you a foundation of clinical research, and it helps you understand whether it's a role that suits you as well. Are
Hmm.
you able? Do you have the passion to want to help others? Do you have a? It gives you like that regulatory understanding as well, the standards you need to comply to, and it sets the basis for your career in the field.
Yeah, and you did mention because you have to have all these great credentials and also a little background when it comes to that. But is there any specific skill or experience that would make someone stand out from applying for this role in the field? I think I have a little feedback.
Apologies.
Is there? I maybe turn on to another device, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say skills such as data analysis and your knowledge of regulatory requirements within the country that you are applying for your role in. That is definitely something that can set you apart from other candidates because not everyone is well versed in the regulatory requirements in the country, and showcasing that on your CV and on your cover letter and in the interview demonstrates your competency and that you're able to keep up to date with new regulations and new policies that are out there, and how you'd be able to use this kind of skill set and be the suitable candidate for the role. And data analysis as well, because you're working with loads of different technologies. Um, a lot of the work is analyzing patient data and coming in and showing that you have experience analyzing data with a certain software or a certain tool or system is another key um, way that can demonstrate your competency compared to other candidates.
Yeah, I love that. We're gonna go back a little bit and talk more about the industry challenges. So, from your perspective, what are the most significant barriers to inclusivity in clinical trials, more so in the underrepresented groups?
So definitely patient recruitment and patient retention, I would say. We There's a lot of history around in recruiting people of color in clinical trials and the outcomes of those trials, and so there's a lack of trust in the system we're that we're long away from what happened back then, and that the drug that is being trialed in us actually is gonna be beneficial for us, and there's a lack of understanding of health literacy as well, and understanding like what the drug does to the body and what the body is going to do to the drug, and there's just a lack of these kind of things, and I feel like this is what we need to work more on to drive change and include more patients of color, participants of color, and drive change in the field. And we need more discussions like this as well. It's not just us as the healthcare professionals, it's also speaking that are just like on these live streams. It's also speaking directly to people of color, doing community outreach, going to where they are, go to church parties and just hand them a flyer or just speak to them and set up these kind of conversations so they have a better understanding and they actually have the opportunity to ask you questions and feel like there's nothing that you're hiding from them, that they're able to really understand a lot more about what is involved in the clinical trials process. And I think from there, we have a long way to go, but from there is the way to go, really.
Have you found that your experience and your answer that this was kind of the feedback that you were that you the or the conclusion that you drew from your answer?
In my role, I do so. I'm not really in the setting where I'm actually, to be honest, yes, I am. Sorry. So I would say that I am trying to yeah, it's a I don't know. Apologies. So
That's
I would
okay.
say that that's something that is to focus on, I would say,
Mhm.
especially as a clinical trial manager and like looking at patient recruitment and seeing what patients are coming onto the trial. That's definitely a key area that I'd like to focus on and be more
Mhm.
involved in. Um, and from hearing patients on like different discussions that I've seen going on, and I do see that this is the key concern.
Okay. And then following that, if you were able to implement a reform in how clinical trials are conducted, making it more inclusive, what would it be? And I know this is like a quick answer. You can take some time to think about it if you need to.
Um, it probably like what I've explained before, like community outreach, really, and creating a forum based on that. I would say, and just trying to bring more participants of color into clinical trials in that way. I would say.
Okay. And where's like the biggest gaps in the engagement and retention? I know you did say that reaching out to people, but in terms of retention, where do you see the gap?
Um, it's more to do with like the amount of traveling that you have to do to come for these patient visits, for example, the burden that the patients face, the frequency of visits, wanting to
Mhm.
commit to have other commitments with family and friends, but and also like being conflicted with the numerous visits that they might have to do, and um, yeah, there's a lot of burden on them in that sense.
Okay. And with the emergence of health tech, a lot of things becoming digital, do you think decentralized clinical trials might be on the rise, especially with connecting with more diverse participants?
Yeah, I'll definitely say so. Participants can be in the comfort of their own homes, um, doing more trials that don't involve them having to come on site, and still being able to get on with their daily lives, not having that burden of frequent having to do frequent visits, and
Mhm.
still being around the people that they recognize as well, and being able to ask questions and just feel comfortable in their own environment at the same time.
Within your workplace, have you guys already started implementing decentralized clinical trial methods?
Not at the moment. Um,
What's the
yeah.
holdup?
We're still on paper CRFs at the moment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go as well.
Oh my God. Okay. So we'll go in and talk more about yourself, more personal insights. What do you enjoy most about your job as clinical trials manager?
I really enjoy just the challenges and that I'm faced with on a daily basis. Like every day is not the same, so I can come in and know that I'm not in the same gonna do the same thing every day. Like I might have something that I'm gonna work on, but then there's something else that I might have to focus on too. I might have a question from a clinical research site. I might have a question from a vendor. It's just that every day is different, and it keeps my mind stimulated, and it keeps me asking questions as well, and wanting to get to the bottom of things and resolve any issues, because at the end of the day I'm the clinical trial manager and I have to do my best to resolve those issues.
So, speaking on that note, which project do you think is most memorable and or more rewardable?
More memorable.
Memorable, like, so is there a project that you thought, oh wow, I'll never forget this because it was very impactful? however, like whatever way it was, and something that was rewarding for you as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say um, yeah, even a current project that I'm on, um, it's really been a eye opener into like being a CTM, and it's given me a lot of things to think about, a lot of aspects that are involved with setting up a trial, running the trial, um, from monitoring visits to contracts to managing budgets. Um, it's really like given me that opportunity to leverage my skills and build on my skills and be challenged.
Okay. And is there anything that's rewarding, or would you say that goes hand in hand?
I would say that goes hand in hand, and also just seeing how we're able to help improve patients' lives by even a few months to a
Hmm.
few years, and just seeing that seeing when therapies work, because there is a small percentage, but when it does work, it's just so amazing to see, and to see that the work that is going on behind the scenes, and to actually get this trial out there is actually helping and benefiting somebody out there.
Have you been able to witness one of your clinical trial projects that you managed go out to market or get close to that, like regulatory tests?
Unfortunately, not. Just still in the phase 1 aspect. um, yeah, hopefully one day I do get to witness that. I
You're
do
gonna have to
get to
let me know.
witness it. I would definitely let you know. Definitely.
Okay, so how does your role impact the lives of participants in future healthcare?
I would say people are looking at me and seeing that I'm able to progress to a clinical trial manager role within a short period of time, and I feel like that's probably inspiring other people of color to move into my role and
Hmm.
actually see that I can be in the role and thrive, and I can actually enjoy it, and um, I'm not shy. I'm not stuck in my corner in the role. I can actually like just be myself in the role as a woman of color, and
Hmm.
um, yeah, just take on the role and make it my own and enjoy it. Be in a field where I'm able to help people, and it suits all my needs. It suits my personality at the end of the day as well. And just hoping that that can drive change and allow more people to be in the field. And even like having questions from other people has really seen that I've been able to help inspire others, and it's been really great to see.
As a woman of color, we all know that, especially working, living in a Caribbean household or African household, a lot of skepticism when it comes to healthcare and clinical trials. Maybe this was before your bachelor's or even after. Did you have any skepticism before going into clinical trials, or even the understanding of joining those things so then you can improve medical interventions?
Yes, like I mean, like all of us, there is a lot of a skepticism. But I think at the end of the day, that's what made me want to actually be in the field and contribute positively, and help us move away from that. And every day I see
Mhm.
that we're able to take baby steps to getting there. And there is still a long way to go, but then also like seeing the changes with regulatory policies and how they're trying to drive more inclusivity and diversity, I can see that we are headed in the right direction, and it does give me more confidence to know that we will get there.
Being in your role, what is your ultimate goal being in this industry? Is it to discover drugs, ladder some more, maybe go somewhere else? Well, I don't have to say that. That part.
um, my goal at the end of the day is to actually work on a trial where I've actually seen it's helped a patient and it's been approved to go onto market. Um, I really enjoy like where I am. Being in phase 1 is really really interesting. Being involved in so many different aspects. Having to keep on top of things compared to like later phases where there's probably less monitoring. Oops. Yes. Yeah. So in that sense, that is. I think my goal is always to remain interested and motivated, and where I, yeah, and just continue going in that direction. rare diseases and women's health have also been things that I've been seeing a lot of talk about, and it's probably something I might consider along the lines as well.
For anyone who's watching in the live audience, you guys can start typing in your questions and we can answer a few of them. I'm going to ask Banke about her project. I know she's that clinical research girl on Instagram and some of her other social media handles. So I'm going to ask her about that. And then after that, we can answer some of your questions. So yeah, tell me about your social media and how you came up with it. What's the goal with that?
Yeah, so with that clinical research girl, that started the beginning of this year, so January. And prior to that, being in the clinical research field, I felt like every time I was telling people my role and just saying, yeah, I'm a clinical research associate, I work in clinical research, the question always was after was, what is that? Like, can you explain more? I've never heard of it. Do you
Mm-hmm.
work in the lab? So I was getting that way too much, and I was just like, the fact that I also didn't know what it was until I completed my masters, and after finishing my bachelor's degree, I had conversations with people in the field. I knew that there was a lot more to focus on, and that this was probably a career in high demand and something that would be of interest to me and continue and go into. So I decided to create that clinical research go and promote clinical research awareness as well and help others break into the field. And it's been amazing since starting making my first post that day on TikTok. And the views and comments that I got really drove me to just keep going every day and keep posting. And it was just a thought that came to my mind randomly in January. Like, it wasn't a new year, new me thing. It was it was just a thought that came to my mind. Oh, I really want to post something about what I do. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, it took off from there. And today we're almost 1 year. Will be 1 year, January 2025, and it's really amazing to see those I've helped be able to break into the field and really help them understand more about what clinical research is and what I actually do on a day to day basis and what's actually involved in clinical research.
Yeah, that is a really cool way to reach people, especially those who are on LinkedIn. Some people want to be on, people don't. And you also have another initiative. It's where you help sell courses or you coach people as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell us more about that.
So I offer like one-to-one coaching, CV reviews, cover letter reviews, supporting statement reviews, just these kind of things to help you where you feel like you might be stuck with your interview, with any interview issues or any application issues that you're having where you're applying for a job and you're not hearing back or you're just getting rejections. And that's where I come in to review it and see what you might be lacking. And that was even a game changer for me back when I was applying for my first CRA role. I also had a clinical research professional review my CV and tell me where I went wrong and CV to a job description, and also to focus on applying to roles in organizations where my skills were suited and where I could actually have a possibility of breaking into the field that way. And so, yeah, that's why I do CV reviews, cover letter reviews, and I just
Oh,
have chats with
nice.
you to help you understand a bit more and show you where you're lacking and just give you a step by step guide to get there and hopefully break in or land an interview in the field.
All right. Is there anyone who has any questions about what she has said? Anything from the beginning of the interview or anything in terms of getting into a CRA role or for that matter? We'll give them a minute. But yeah, I'll talk about your future vision a little bit. So, what would you like to see change in the industry? Just one thing.
More, I would say more women like us in senior roles.
Okay, yes. I'm here for that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And having the confidence to stay there and know that you're supposed to be there as well.
I think it is a big game changer, especially with myself working as a clinician, as a physiotherapist, and I do some speaking events and even some little fireside chat as well. I've been approached by women of color who've said, "Oh, I've never considered doing physiotherapy, but you've made me feel inspired to do it." And I think it's because they have a figure, someone to look at, to kind of think, "Oh, I can see myself as well because she's similar to
Exactly.
me." So it is nice.
Exactly, and that's why we need more of us to take up these roles because then they think, oh, wow, it's not even that far out of our reach. Like, this is something that I can do, and she's
Mhm.
doing it, so why can't I? Like, we need more of us, and in
Exactly.
that way, we make ourselves stronger and we fill more of these roles and drive change.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like there's no questions, but that's all right. Thank you so much, Banke, for being here. It was a struggle to get this thing working,
Thank you
but
so
we made
much
it.
for thank you
We've
so
made
much
it.
for having me. And yeah, these technical issues are
You know what?
they
I
didn't
think
stop
it's,
us from having
I'm
this
getting too
live.
old. I'm getting too old for the technology now. So,
I'm so glad that it didn't stop us from having this call today because we almost said let's reschedule or let's
yeah.
not have this call, but we
Yeah,
pushed
but
through.
definitely, I would love to have you again, and this time it'll be more seamless than this.
Yeah,
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in, and catch you next time for our next LinkedIn live stream. Okay,
thank you so
bye.
much. Bye, everyone.
Okay, I'm ending.